What's up, everybody? It's your boy Andrew L. Case, and you are now tuned into the Middle Initial Podcast. Today is July 31st, 2023. I'm here with my co-host, as usual, Jude A. Jackson, with a Mets hat on for some reason.
Hmm.
Probably got that as a giveaway. And Kevin A. Lewis. What's
I
going
actually
on, Kev?
brought this. Wow.
You
Sheesh.
you, per- you used American dollars to purchase that hat?
Why, yes, I did. I was like, you know
That
what?
hat
I need a new hat.
stinks.
I'm a
Wow,
Mets
okay
fan of that
then.
hat. I'm a
That
Mets
hat
fan of that hat.
stinks. No
Stinks.
disrespect.
No
That hat
Wow.
disrespect.
stinks.
Wow.
That hat
Jeez.
stinks. Like,
Wow.
like you
It's
could have
it's
used that money to buy a beer. You could have used that money to buy
A better hat.
nachos, a better hat, a lot of
it's
things.
what's wrong? What about this hat is like, wow, this thing is this
It
logo
looks
right here?
terrible. How about
It
that?
just
We can
it
start
just
there.
looks
It
it
looks
just
terrible.
looks
It looks
yeah.
boomerish. It looks like a dad
It
hat.
look
I
like
understand.
you look like one of them Jersey Shore dudes who wear like the trucker hats and like
Wow.
you look like one of them right now.
You look like you have a
Wow.
net in your back seat and a
He wearing
and a
cargo
cooler
shorts at the bottom
full of ice for
for sure.
fish.
He wearing cargo shorts at the bottom. For sure. That's what he
I
looks.
actually used to wear cargo shorts at one
I'm not
time.
surprised here.
That's
Wow. Now you see why I clock out
oh
at
man.
5. Right at 5
Listen, if
o'clock,
you
I'm
got listen, that it's like I'm tired of this work related abuse. I'm out of here. Clock it out. You guys are not gonna see me at all.
That's why. This is why he leaves because we make fun of his bad hats. For sure. That's why.
And
Mhm.
we all can't be king of hats like Kev, because Kevin, well, I don't know what hat that is, but
A Lookouts, Chattanooga
yeah.
Lookouts, hat.
See,
Cincinnati minor league affiliate.
there you go. See, there you go. That's
Yeah.
can't you gotta be like Kevin, just get a
And
whole.
it's
I
heat.
mean,
And it's heat. Like it's a fire hat.
the
Unlike
fire hat.
that,
I'm not gonna lie.
whatever the hell is Jude has.
Yeah,
I'm like,
we got some balance. Thank you for balancing that.
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because I don't have a hat to put on. I'm wearing too much yellow, so I don't.
We gotta have me here to put up the passing grade on the report card. If not, you're gonna flunk. Same.
Before we go any further, make sure you guys right now, if you're new here, stop what you're doing. If you haven't done this yet, if you haven't clicked subscribe, if you haven't hit like, if you haven't left a comment on our YouTube page at all, I need you to do that right now. Subscribe, comment, hit the like. Make sure you're following us on all social media. MIPod69 on Instagram, MIPod69 on Twitter. Shout out to Alan Lazard, who said today in a presser, you don't like the number 69? Shout out to Alan Lazard for the innuendo joke. You know what I mean? What I
Wow,
mean? He
we're saying
new to the
positive
team.
things about Alan Lazard on this podcast.
Hey, don't throw me under the bus.
I,
It's
I,
too.
I am throwing you under the bus. I'm driving it over your body, and then I'm reversing back over you. So yes, that's what we're doing.
Wow.
Well, since we're here, let's start the show.
You are now tuned in to the Middle Initial Podcast, bitch. Now everybody pod nowadays, but it pays when you listen to Drew, Kevin, Case, and in case you missed it, get your spirits lifted. Man, New York's getting covered just to be specific. When the beast will kick it, you get back. Yeah, listen one time, I promise you come back. Now we switching up a topic, you know that we come pack. And I don't wanna say it, but bitch, we want blacks. In fact, we need that. Cause ain't nobody talk like the boys. It don't matter who you like or employ. We've been the best for a minute. Big brains could've went to MIT, but we like talking shit. Here's the MIP.
I'm not gonna let Kev hurt my feelings, man. He's not gonna try to bring me down. All right.
Well, you're not going to want to listen to me the rest of the podcast because that's what the rest of the podcast is here for.
Everybody who's part of Discord. Shout out to everybody part of Discord. Shout out to Mike who just finally became a patron for real. Shout out to Stefan. Shout out to Rodney. Shout out to Uncle Bubba. Shout out to Khalil. Shout out to Tori.
Hmm.
Shout out to NJ Farrow. It's a lot of good people in there pop in and out. Shout out to people in the Discord. Shout out to our patrons. Um, but let's get into this, man. And the reason why I brought up the Patreon because a lot of times we in there in the Discord going back and forth, classic fights, me versus Dan, me versus Kev, me versus everybody. Um,
Yeah, I was about to say that.
I'm gonna get a shirt done that says Case versus everybody. Um, but we have an interesting brouhaha going on over in Indianapolis. Jonathan Taylor versus Jim Irsay. Now, It's a lot going on. Apparently, Taylor, like most of the NFL running backs, unhappy with their current contracts or their future outlook on their money. And not a rumor, but Taylor is not at camp. He's not even holding in. He's holding out.
He was today.
He was today.
He was today.
So he held in.
He wasn't doing anything, but he was there. His body was there.
He's a hold in.
Yes.
He's a hold in. He is coming off an injury. He was injured last season, right? He's coming off injury.
Yeah.
Ankle injury last season. Irsay has some interesting comments to say about Jonathan Taylor. And I know Irsay has a problem with alcohol. Or let's call it what it is. I mean, it's not a secret. It's not a secret.
You could have phrased that more delicately than just.
No,
I mean, there's no way.
There's no way to phrase it. Like
He has substance abuse problems.
That's not any better,
right?
Especially in this context, because we're about to call him a loony bin. So
right, he's he made some interesting remarks, and I don't know if I should if I haven't, but he did say something to the effect, which is kind of morbid when you think about it. If I die tomorrow and Taylor's out of the league, no one's going to remember us. Like, you know what I mean? Like, like life go, like the league will go on, nobody will remember us and stuff like that. I don't know about you. I've never heard a dispute go as bad as this. He said, and I quote, "If I die tonight and Jonathan Taylor is out of the league, no one's going to miss us. The league goes on. We know that. The National Football League rolls on. It doesn't matter who comes and who goes, and it's a privilege to be a part of it." Excuse me?
I mean, I wouldn't say that, but he's not wrong. That's the thing.
I just don't understand what that has to do with the situation.
That's the
part that I don't. That's where he loses me. Like, okay, yeah, you're right. Like, yes, once y'all retire, die, whatever, yeah, the NFL will go on. The NFL likely will always go on. That is a very true point. What that has to do with Jonathan Taylor wanting to get his contract extended is beyond me. I have no idea what it has to do with the current situation. None.
Yeah. It sounded like he tried to start a suicide pact in the beginning. Like, if I die tonight, like, whoa, you're on your own. Okay, you die tonight.
Relax, buddy.
Relax. Like, relax. I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
If you die tonight, I won't be out the league tomorrow. Like, speak for yourself, but like,
right. I mean, if you die tonight, like, I'm gonna be perfectly fine and healthy. God willing. So I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Don't try to drag me down with your nonsense, Jim. Like, what the hell's going on? And then, so I mean, it gets uglier from there because apparently they were trying to say that Taylor hurt his back and like a workout injury, and he wasn't on the PUP list. He was on the NFI list.
They were thinking about putting him on the NFI list.
Right. And NFI is not what it's
non-football
injury list.
Right. So thus they wouldn't be on the hook for his 2023 salary. They wouldn't have to pay him.
Right. Which means he'd still be on the hook for his rookie contract the following season. It's getting nasty. The running back situation in the league is getting nasty. We've had a plethora of retirements spontaneously too. Like 3 guys retired. Like Sony Michel retired. The fullback from the Steelers, who was the only fullback on the roster at 23, retired, and somebody else randomly retired. Which was funny because I think he made like 19, almost $20 million just because he ran a 4.2. Like he made a lot of bread just because he ran a 4.2. But this running back saga is just getting really nasty, and this is the nastiest part of it all. Like this situation between Taylor and Irsay. I mean, would you say, Jude, that Taylor has a leg to stand on, quote unquote? Not trying, no pun intended. When it comes to I'm sorry. I did not mean for it to come out like that, but it did. Does he have a leg to stand on when it comes to what was they? What did he say? He wanted 16 million per year, something like that. There was a rumor or whatever.
I
Like
mean,
what your thoughts?
he kind of does. He's pretty much been their only offense for the past several years with all of the trash quarterbacks that come there. Matt Ryan's corpse, Carson Wentz, Phil Rivers' corpse, all of that, Jacoby Brissett, and now they have a rookie quarterback. They'd be a lot better with Jonathan Taylor than without. So whatever negotiations they have, it should lean towards Taylor. I don't think he's going to get 16 million per year, but I would think he's going to get a long-term contract, maybe an extra 2 years or something.
Not from the Colts. Do you think the Colts are going to give him that contract?
Eventually do. Unless they find another undrafted free agent running back or a rookie that does well, which they probably will. But then what team's going to trade for him? No one's trading for him.
I mean, if his thing is he's not going to play without a deal, which I don't think that's what's going to happen. But let's pretend that it is. Nobody's going to actively trade for this. And then who is going to extend it? Because Jonathan Taylor is really good at football, no questions. He is coming off of an ankle injury. And then you have to trade, I'm assuming, a reasonably high draft pick for him and then also pay him if that's what his hang-up is. Now, I do kind of feel like it's one of those, you know how we're doing the Aaron Rodgers tour now where, he's willing to do some shit for the Jets that he wouldn't have been willing to do for the Packers? I kind of feel like Jonathan Taylor, so somebody might trade for him and he might be willing to just come in, run his ass off, and then go get his money from wherever in the offseason, but he's just not willing to do that for the Colts. I don't think it reaches that point. I think the likeliest outcome is he plays it out for the Colts, and then unfortunately they might franchise tag him if he's good enough, which that's we're gonna be right back here more or less. So I don't think he unfortunately he just does not have a lot of leverage because what's the alternative here? Just like the rest of the running backs, we could say whatever we want. There's a reason that Saquon buckled for $2 million, and Saquon was the Giants' offense last year, and he buckled for $2 million. There's a reason that happened. Josh Jacobs can't get more than a 2-year deal, at least as of right now, despite the fact that he ran for 1,600 yards last year. The game is the game, so it's just what is he going to do about it? I don't know. He might just he might just say fuck Indianapolis, which after Irsay's comments, how could you blame him? Because it's one thing, listen, we see the market. We know what the owners think. But there's some shit that's just better off left unsaid. We don't need to hear it out loud. The action shows all we need to know. But now you're going to come out and say, you know what, we treat our players really well. If we'd all die tomorrow, the NFL will go on. No player wants to hear that, brother. No player wants to hear that shit.
Nobody.
It's not just about Taylor anymore. All them other dudes in the locker room are looking at him crazy too.
Yeah, that's crazy. Real quick, shout out to our sponsor, dadsarecool.com. Make sure you guys shop and check out merchandise at Dads Are, and I'll spell it for you, Dads Are Cool 2.com. TOO. Dads Are Cool 2.com.
You're a super cool case.
Thank you. Appreciate that. They are the official sponsor of the Middle Initial Podcast. Free shipping on all orders over $75. Make sure if you're a dad, if you have a dad in your life, a future dad, dadsarecool2.com, the official sponsor of the Middle Initial Podcast. So check out their merch at dadsarecool2.com. How did you guys feel about Etienne's comments? I felt like he was kind of like a little sucker. Well, Etienne was talking. I think the Jackson running back. He was talking about. I think he was talking about the. I don't want to say. He was talking about running backs being versatile, and basically it's up to them to do more. You know what I mean? I think and it kind of came off to me one of those dudes who he's a second-year guy. It's kind of one of those I'm cool with the boss. You know what I mean? If we do better, they'll pay us one day. Look at Christian McCaffrey; he got paid, and it's Christian McCaffrey.
Your list of people is one, brother.
One,
my brother. One.
he's the highest paid in the league.
Outlier. That's not. And here's the thing with that. And I get that with the running back arguments, a lot of people on both sides feel very spirited about it. It's very spirited, right? Here's the thing with ETN's argument: we have to be versatile, and you'll get paid accordingly. Blah blah.
Yeah.
Then explain the tight end market.
Exactly.
They want tight ends to catch passes, and they want them to block like tackles,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't get paid accordingly. So what are we talking about? And then with the running backs, like none of these teams. I already stated what I think about how the Giants used Saquon last year, for example. But none of these teams use these running backs enough outside of like the creme de la creme, the one-of-one, the McCaffreys, the Le'Veon Bells, the Marshall Faulks. None of these teams use these backs enough in the passing game for them to accrue enough numbers to point at, like, you know what? I had 900 yards receiver. Pay me like a receiver. So, like, ETN can say whatever he wants. And he's technically a receiving threat. And you look at his underlying receiving numbers last year, they stunk, for one. And two, his traditional stats weren't that good either from a receiving standpoint. So it's like, my brother, you're doing all of this, and it's like, if you keep doing this, you're just going to get paid like a garden variety running back because that's what your numbers claim that you are, or at least that's what ownership is going to look at you as. So you're saying, oh, it's up to us and this, that. There's like, okay, that's fine. We could say that, but Austin Eckler caught 8 million passes the last 3 years, scored 8 million touchdowns 2 years ago. He still can't get a deal.
Right.
So,
It was just weird. Like there's always some guy at your job who does that. You know what I mean? Company man, company woman, whatever. Just says something that's like, well, if we just
and it's really and it's however we land on the running back debate, it's really weird for a running back to be saying that. Like, bro, they're telling you they don't care about you, bro.
They don't care.
They're telling you they don't care about you. Saquon fucking Barkley can't. Well, I mean, granted, he turned down deals. So I'm gonna leave him off of this. Josh Jacobs just ran for 1 million yards last year. Helped keep the bum ass Raiders afloat until their bum ass quarterback got benched late in the season. And he can't get a good solid multi-year fucking contract. But Travis Etienne, who was picked by the last regime, one of the worst NFL coaches ever, basically. He wants to flap his gums about, you just gotta pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Fuck out of here, Travis. They don't care about you either, brother.
If this was a strike, he would be the scab that would go onto the other side, pretty much. Like
1,000%. 1,000%.
Yes. Like he
1,000 fucking percent.
1,000. I just wanted to make sure I was like, it didn't feel like, it felt gross to me. I didn't see a lot of backlash from a lot of people, but when I heard it, I was like,
I turned on that clip in 8 seconds and I turned it off. I was like, I'm not.
Make sure you guys are following us on Instagram and on Twitter at MIPod69. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the like and comment on our YouTube page. We have 98 subscribers looking to hit 100. We are 2 shy away from 100. So make sure you guys comment, rate, and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at MIPod69. Speaking of running backs, keeping in the vein of running backs, one running back who it's cooking up a little mischief, so to speak. Dalvin Cooks got cut by Minnesota. He has been solid the past 4 years, at least 1,100 yards rushing the past 4 years. The advanced metrics would suggest that last season, even though he rushed for another 1,100 yards, that his expected run, I think it was expected run yardage, was dead last. And I think it was the total was like -200. That I was looking up the stat. I mean, pretty much, if a play design should have gone for 4 or 5 yards and he got 2, then that's the expected. The expected yards per carry, whatever. So he was dead last expected yards per carry. I don't think that's a crazy necessarily like a thing. It looks bad. But there were there were some good running backs in that bottom half, that negative half. Like Saquon was there, and he was one of those good guys who was there. Whatever. I mean, the best. I think the best was I forget who was number 1 on that list. But some people, Kev, will say that he's in decline. Other people would disagree that he's in decline.
Can I rant about this real fast? Sorry to cut you off. People need to fucking understand what the word decline means. I am begging you to understand what the word decline does not mean washed. I've had the same opinion for like 8. You'll say LeBron James today is declining, and people will argue. It's like, is he the same fucking player he was 4 years ago? Yes or no? No, he's fucking declining. It's not complicated. Dalvin Cook is perfectly fine. I never said he was bad, whatever, or any of us that think he's declining. He's a 28-year-old running back whose best season happened 4 fucking years ago. That is a decline. It's literally right there.
Was it 4? It was 2 seasons ago.
2020 was his best year. 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
2020, the pandemic year. Yeah, 3 years ago was his best fucking season. Like, he's declining. His advanced metrics all went in the fucking tank last year.
Yeah.
He's declining. But carry on. Sorry, I had to get off my chest. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, but I mean, to your point, like when you look at the advanced metrics, it does indicate that it may be hard for him to get yards. Doesn't mean he won't get another, have some, good yardage games, whatever the case may be. But he's not. I think he was averaging like 67 yards a game or whatever. Which again, running for 1,000 yards, like I know mathematically people say, oh, he run for 100 yards each game, blah, 10 games, 1,000 yards. There's only one person who ran for 100 yards per game. That's Jim Brown. And the only person who came and who was second is Barry Sanders. And I remember Barry Sanders, like I said, I think last episode, Barry Sanders had 1,500 yards, 5 1,500-yard seasons in a row. That's the record. And it was the last game of the season in 1999. And he ended up finishing with 1,400 yards, like 1,499, because he ended up with like negative something in the second half versus the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yardage is a fickle thing now. Like it used to be the standard. You rush for 1,000 yards, you're a good running back. But now with the advanced metrics and stuff like that, that's not necessarily the case. Having 1,000 yards doesn't necessarily mean you're a good running back. It just means you ran for 1,000 yards, right? Especially with that extra game, that 17th game, it could come a little easier. But besides the point, Dalvin Cook is looking for a job. He apparently went to Miami, and Miami, a rumor allegedly didn't offer him a lot of money. Which, of course, I don't know how. I mean, Miami has like 4 running backs on the roster right now. I don't understand why he expected to get a significant offer if that was expectation.
Delusion. Right. Let me clue you in on why. Delusion.
But now the issue I should say, not the issue, but the situation with the Jets. He came to Florham Park. He was there. He was shaking hands and kissing babies, talking to owners, talking to coaches, talking to players, stuff like that. Aaron Rodgers seems like he would like to get him. You know what I mean? They asked him a question. I forgot who asked the question today at camp about him taking the pay cut, the $35 million pay cut. He was like, hey, we got a guy like, we see who was here today. So it seemed like Aaron is keen to have a guy like Cook come in and help out. Other players, of course, we don't know what the temperature is. But he left without a deal, which was kind of expected, because I don't think they just would just run to sign him. I don't think we're in that dire of a need to get Cook. The question would be, and I asked the question in the Discord, Cook wants to get paid, clearly. He doesn't want to be a one-year rental. And if he does, I'm pretty sure he probably wants Saquon money, like $10 million for 1 year. If the Jets, and I'm asking Juke, I already know Kev's answer. If the Jets were going to offer Cook anything, it's not our money. We shouldn't care. But if they're going to offer him anything substantial or significant, how much do you think the Jets offer him, and how many years?
I'm going to go crazy, and I'm going to say something like a 2-year, $14 million deal. One of those years is fake, like one of those fake voided years. So it's really just a 1-year deal. Fully guaranteed $7 million. The second year is guaranteed upon like the first day of the league year or something. I think that would be a fair deal for both sides if it comes to that. I do have questions about. I was talking about this with the people in the Discord earlier. The thing I wonder is, I would have rather the Jets gone this hard on a wide receiver as opposed to a running back, because mainly it's just like, I mean,
receivers matter. I'll just say it for you.
Yes, wide receivers matter more. Kev read my mind. They matter more. And it's like, okay, Brees might be compromised or unhealthy for the first few games. Michael Carter and the rest of them, the rookie running back, Israel, I forgot his last name.
Did you forget his last name, or do you not know how to pronounce it?
Well, either way, I forgot it. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce it. But regarding that, I mean, what was it? Now I lost my train of thought. Yeah, they're serviceable enough for the first few games that I don't think it's that pressing of a need to get Dalvin Cook. I can understand getting Dalvin Cook, but it's not that pressing of a need. I would rather do the full court press for Odell Beckham or DeAndre Hopkins, but it is what it is. And plus, there's some other stuff with Dalvin Cook that gives me pause.
Some other stuff. You want me to say it since you don't want to?
Right. Somebody can say
domestic
it.
violence.
He might be a piece of shit. I'll say it.
Right. Right. Some people are banging on the table that the Jets should not sign him because of those off-field issues. We know the league. We know what league that we're in. You know what I mean? The Kareem Hunts, the guys who guys who get deals and stuff like that, who do things and reach things. If there's any truth to Dalvin Cook attempting to pay his ex-girlfriend for her silence, that's just. I mean, it's bad enough from what I read. But just start trying to pay the silencers. It's like, come on, it's icing on the fucking cake. Like, are we really going for these guys? But this is the league that we're in. This is the league that we're in. The reality of it is talent plays, and the NFL does not care about women, and it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter. That's why I don't. That's why it's like, I mean, we can be as vocal as we want. It's falling on deaf ears. It's falling on deaf ears. A lot of guys do a lot of egregious, terrible shit to women, and they get away with it, and they continue to play, and it just goes away. You know what I mean? I'm not saying give up your stance or how you feel. I'm just saying the league doesn't give a fuck, right? So now, on top of him being 28, on top of him being declined, on top of him with off-field issues, doesn't seem like a great signing. But a lot of people like him for the fact that he can help ease in Breece Hall. Kev, like I said, I know your stance about getting Dalvin Cook. If you're going to get him. If not, let's move the fuck on. How do you feel about this whole media thing, going to beat the Dolphins, going to talk to the Jets? Is it too much for Dalvin Cook right now?
Oh, you teed up that question so well. Okay, it's good for you. I will circle back real fast on your commentary about the advanced stats. I don't know exactly which one you cited. I'd have to look that up, and we could talk about that after the show or whatever. But the thing with advanced stats, the NFL has kind of sort of shifted towards the all or nothing kind of running back. So like the big play, like you know how they do home run or strikeout in baseball, basically like those kind of back. Like, all right, he might get you 80, but he might get you -4. Like one of them, one of those type of backs. And I think those type of backs tend to not look good in the particular category you're talking about, like expected yards, because they tend to fuck up like 6-yard plays and turn them into 2-yard plays. Like, so just to circle back on that real quick. As far as your question, I can't believe we're doing this for what's like the 9th best running back in football. And finding a running back who might also be a piece of shit on top of that. But I'll focus just on the football side for a minute, because the other stuff is the other stuff. No amount of me talking is going to change anything, whatever. You know how I stand on it. Like, if all of that shit is true, fuck him. Go to hell. That's how I feel. But the football side of things, would the Jets Super Bowl odds change if they signed Dalvin Cook?
Probably not.
No. Would the Dolphins Super Bowl odds change if they signed Dalvin Cook?
Probably not.
No. What the fuck are y'all bickering over this guy, bro? He's like the 9th best running back in the sport. Like, it's what? Listen, if the Colts said tomorrow, we are going to make Jonathan Taylor readily available, and y'all want to bicker over that dude, that makes sense.
Yeah,
makes fucking sense, because that dude is a fucking game breaker, and and like. While yes, I full on like running backs don't matter that much. Some of them do. Jonathan Taylor is one of them who does. Like Jonathan Taylor was hauling Carson Wentz old bum ass to week 17 with a chance to make the fucking playoffs. Hauling Phillip Rivers old ass to the playoffs the year before that. Like, he clearly fucking matters. Dalvin Cook is like, guys, or put it simply with the Jets in particular. The best case scenario for Dalvin Cook on the Jets is he is a second string running back in December. That's the best case, because if he's not, something went very, very wrong somewhere.
Right.
Something went very wrong. Breece died. Right. Breece forgot how to play football. Whatever it is, something happened. Breece's legs fell off. Whatever it is that happened between now and December that made Dalvin Cook the starter running back, something went incredibly wrong. The best case scenario here is Dalvin's getting like 8 to 9 touches a week come December, maybe a little bit more maybe a little bit whatever. He is a a spell back. That's what the best case scenario is here. And we gotta have Dalvin watch. Oh my God. He's in a cafe across the street. He just got off the plane. Oh my God. His flight is scheduled to leave Jersey at 8 a.m. Oh my God. He's going to land in Florida at 11 a.m. We really need this fucking full court press for a fucking declining running back, bro? Seriously, can we have some pride about ourselves? For
Jets fans, and that's Jets fans.
Them.
It's not just them, but Jets fans are going to war over this with Dolphins fans, and it's just like it. I don't listen. I know you love your team, but in one scenario, it doesn't make sense for the Dolphins to pay him, a certain amount of money, because it's like you have running backs. You have like 3 or 4. You just drafted a running back. Doesn't make any sense.
The Dolphins don't even run the ball,
and they don't run the ball.
They're like the third pass heavy team in football. They don't even run the fucking ball. And when they do, they get 6 yards a pop anyway with whoever, me, you, whoever.
Right.
Running the ball.
And for Jets fans to think like this is going to be some two-headed monster, Brees and Cook, like this is not a video game. Like this, it doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Like you wanted to like say, hey, if we get Cook and Brees, oh my God, we're going to be cooking. But I mean, the way I look at it is like this: if the Jets are so hell bent on running the ball that they want to get Cook, I look at it like they're not. There's some concerns. There are some concerns, not Aaron Rodgers concerns, maybe receiving core concerns, maybe offensive line concerns, but there are concerns if you're going to entertain this guy for this long, especially with the media stuff. Like, I'm not looking at this as a good thing. I'm looking at this as a red flag.
And bro, he might be suspended. Like, nobody talks about that part of this for whatever. He might get fucking suspended. Like, if any of this shit is true, like whether you're talking about the first part of it is true, the second part of it is true, the payoff part is true, whatever it is, he might get fucking suspended, which then defeats the whole purpose. Considering yourself to help ease Brees back into the fold.
It's like I look at, like I said, red flag for me is being this hell bent on getting a running back. It doesn't feel like it's just about spelling Brees Hall, because you have Carter, you have Knight, and you have the rookie. So it's like you can still do what you're doing with the guys you have on the roster. Now you get Cook, who's the odd man out. It's going to be Knight or Carter, and for all intents and purposes, they say Knight is having a decent training camp.
You can get Carter on my face, dog. For real, they get Carter on my bye. Sign up. Bye. So. That man talked way too much for a fourth-round pick who was okay, solid, whatever you want to call it. Rookie year, sucked the second year. It's like making these sassy tweets whenever the Jets are linked to a running back. It's like, brother, they're linked. The call is coming from inside the house. They're linked in because of you, brother.
Right, right. Because we already seen what he can do when Brees Hall went down. We already seen that.
Not
so
much.
We don't need to see it again.
Nada.
And we already seen.
They saw the Buffalo game.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so, like, it's almost like the same thing with the quarterbacks. Like, we don't need to see Flacco, Wilson, and Strebler again. You know what I mean? And, we've seen it already twice. We don't need to see this movie again. You know what I mean? Like, all right, so we have a new quarterback. So I don't think so. I'm looking at it like, hey, the Jets are this hell bent on getting Cook instead of saying like we get anybody else. Like they don't want to go back again with a Carter Knight situation again. So that's my 2 cents on it. I don't see it as a positive. I see it as a red flag. I don't make, like Kev said, it's not a Super Bowl contending move. And according to training camp, our offensive line is not looking good, according to the reports from training camp. Now, today, on a positive note, they said Becton was looking good, second strong day of practice. Tippmann, not available, and some other dude who was playing today who was garbage, apparently. So it's looking like McGovern is going to be the starting center if things don't change. Dwayne Brown is still on the PUP list. Haven't heard nothing bad about Thomas on the ABT. Mitchell's playing the right tackle, but they're saying the Jets are getting beat on the edge badly in practice, like badly. So there's a lot of concerns still, and you got a 38, 39-year-old quarterback. You really need to make sure this offensive line is solid. So
the offensive line is the thing that can quickest destroy the season. That's simple.
Right.
Mhm.
The offensive
Right.
line can destroy the season quicker than anything else.
right. So yeah, get that done together, stuff like that. But
But
I don't.
Dalvin Cook is going to fix everything. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
we're currently
yeah.
like Dalvin
Yeah.
watch fucking day for like 3 weeks now. That's
Yeah,
why we
that's
got to
it.
watch his itinerary and when he's getting off the plane and what hotel he's staying in and what plays
What
is he
tweets he's
watching in
liking.
City, what tweets is he liking, what color the
Mhm.
heart emojis he's letting off are. That's
Yeah.
why we got to watch him because he's so fucking important. That's why.
The funny thing about the Jets and Dolphins is that it's been a mid-off this past month about Dalvin Cook, and then every time you see a Jets Dolphins argument, it's just a big fat old mid-off. They're like, "Oh, Jets suck," and it's like, "Well, Dolphins kind of suck too." And it's
One of the playoff games since I was in fucking elementary school. I'm not Dolphins fans. Yes, I know Jets fans and Dolphins fans is like the tallest short person arguing. I get it.
Mhm.
Okay, but the fact of the matter is, still, when I was 13 the last time the Dolphins won a playoff game. I was 13. I don't
How
want
old are you now?
5. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from Dolphins fans. Now, Bills fans, fine. You can say whatever you want. I think Bills fans are fucking insane, but at least they have some recent success to back to talk about. Fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Patriots don't won 18 Super Bowls in my lifetime. Fine, they can talk whatever they want. I don't care if McCorkle's the quarterback now. They can talk the Dolphins. Fuck no, no, bro, no. AOL was barely in existence the last time the Dolphins won a fucking playoff game.
Mm.
Y2K was the biggest conspiracy back then.
Through the World Series the last time the Dolphins won a playoff game, dog.
Oh my god, that's It's
What are you talking about?
the showing Tua throwing like these. I might even get into it. I don't want no smoke, Dolphins fans.
Listen,
I do want to pivot just a tiny bit about training camp because there's something funny going on right now on Falcons Twitter, and it's that every time we see a pass, every time I'm looking at the quotes, they're like, show the quarterback. And then one pass I saw from Desmond Ridder, which is most likely him, to Kyle Pitts, I'm looking and it's like, oh, that's Desmond Ridder. And I'm like, no, that's why they don't show the quarterback because he fucking sucks.
I want to correct you on what his real name is, but I really,
Right, because
I don't even
keep
think
calling
he
him.
deserves it.
You
Like,
keep calling him the Riddler.
Call him Riddler. I'm correct him because Riddler is too cool for that guy. His name is Ritter. So,
Ritter.
Keep calling him the Riddler.
Damn.
his name is Ritter.
Damn.
Not Riddler. Yeah.
I mean, listen, Kev, the Riddler might fit because
The Riddler's where the ball's
the
gonna fucking. That's where
right, the
Riddler is.
Riddler's going to be, can you throw the fucking ball? Like, can't
No,
you
the
can't
Riddler's
throw
gonna
the
be
ball?
what direction is the ball gonna go in because it ain't gonna be chest high. It's gonna be
Listen,
too far up, too far down.
who's their running back again?
Bijan.
Brian Roberts.
Bijan.
Robinson.
Bijan's
Yeah,
going to have
Bijan.
Bijan's going to have 325 touches. He's going to get
Anybody who listens to this podcast and that's not in the middle of the show, I'm not thinking, I don't even give a fuck. Take the free advice. I'd be smoking y'all every year anyway. Draft Bijan Robinson.
draft Bijan Robinson.
Draft Bijan Robinson.
If he's available, what
So
third,
hot.
fourth round?
Bro, it might be third, fourth pick. Talking about third, fourth round. No, he's a first round pick. Easy. It just
He's
depends on
going
where
to get a ton of touches.
He's
And
going to get, he is extremely talented. Like,
Yeah,
draft
he's-
Bijan Robinson.
he's going to get the ball.
The pass
all
catchers, that's up to you. Bijan, draft Bijan.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the show that quarterback meme is just so funny.
It's so funny. It's every day too. That's the funniest. It's every day.
Yo,
Again,
shout out to
And it's like-
shout out to Fort Verts. He was like, "Is every day going to be Ritter quarterback watch?
Yeah.
Ritter watch?"
Ritter watch. Yes, it is. It is Charles.
Charles is pissed off. Like, yo,
Mhm.
I gotta cover this team. Like, yo,
Yes, you do.
crazy. Speaking of bad teams, man,
Uh-oh.
Yankees and Mets at the trade deadline. Do your dance, do your dance, do your dance.
The dancing
The-
place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Yankees seem to be two-stepping in the corner, while the Mets are showing home. To quote Kev, they are twerking on the dance floor. Who do you want? We got him. Who do you want? The funniest thing about this with the Mets, right? The first chip to fall was Dave Robertson, and I never seen somebody who gets so upset at a 38-year-old reliever. Like, I
was so
never
stu-
seen.
it was so
It was so stupid. Like, yo, people, the Mets, they're blowing it up. I'm like, over Dave Robertson, he's 38.
They're throwing in the towel of the season, brother. They're like 9 games out of the wild card. What did you think they were gonna do? And there's like 60 games left, bro. What did you think they were gonna do?
But then it's like Max Scherzer wants to talk to the brass about Dave. Really? I thought did we trade Pete Alonso? Did we trade Lindor?
Right. Max Scherzer wants to talk about the. I read that. I'm like, that conversation can't be very long. It's going to be like, all right, who is it? Max, right, come in, sit down. So I just want to talk about the direction of the team. We are selling. There's your. Can it be more obvious, Max? Okay, right. Now why not? Okay, good talk. We will be in touch about whatever teams contact us about you, and we will get you to where you want to go. Okay,
he's gone.
Good. He's gone. Like how long had that conversation been, dog? Had to have been like 3 sentences. Like, I want to know what the direction of the team is. Brother, have you looked at the standings?
But my thing is, if that trade is what got you all riled up, what is? I mean, all right, granted, Dave Robertson has been solid in relief, you know what I mean? Because one of the few guys in the bullpen. But Max, I mean, it's pay you no, never mind. You know what I mean? You haven't been pristine, you know, this season as well. You know, I think your ERA is the worst since 2016 or something like that. He's at like 4.1. I mean, listen, the Mets had some crazy stat where if a starter goes 6 innings, their record was like 60-some%. Like they were like, you know, the starters have been bad this season. But the Mets have been active. So Robertson again was the first chip to fall, and then of course Scherzer, who was traded to of all places, Texas. You know what I mean? Who also have DeGrom, who's out for the rest of the season due to Tommy John, stuff like that. And then the Mets made another trade again. They traded Connor to the Brewers, so they're stacking up the farm system. The best thing I've heard though, we got an Acuna. The Mets got an Acuna. They got the little brother to the big brother, who's pretty much the MVP this season. Between him and Corbin. Acuna said he's more advanced than he's 21 years old. I think he plays second, short, and outfield. Call him up.
He's 19.
I thought they say he's 21.
Is he?
Okay, I think he's 21.
My apologies.
I know they have like a couple of young guys on the.
I know he was in Double-A. I know that for a fact, though.
Yeah, who's his name? Louis Angel Acuna.
Luis Angel.
Luis Angel. Sorry, I didn't. Luis Angel.
Yeah, he's
21.
Yeah, he's 21.
Luis Angel. Yeah, like my ice cream sandwich.
Nah, man, you gotta stop.
He's batting 315 right now with the minors. 7 home runs, 51 RBIs, 42 stolen. Call him up. 42 stolen. Call him up, Mets. Call him up. Call him up next right now.
There's no reason for that right at this moment. Let that man develop a little bit more. But I'm a big fan of betting on bloodlines. Big fan. Bet on the bloodlines, especially when there's a reason. Like, it's not like he stinks and you're just like, oh, his last name is. He's been really fucking good in the minors. Like, the only thing with him is like he has a penchant to hit the ball on the ground too much. That can be altered. That can be fixed. And I mean, he might hit the ball well enough otherwise that it matters a little bit less. Because like Ellie De La Cruz has the highest ground ball rate in baseball by a wide margin, and nobody cares. Because, well, he beats out a fielder because he's the world's fastest man. And then he hits a few 480 feet. So you live with it. But it's a good get for them. Like, granted, the Mets did what they were supposed to do. They paid off some of the deals so they could get a better prospect back. And they did well for themselves. Like, I don't know what this means for the 2024 Mets. I don't think anybody should really care that much. Because if you're going to go into the offseason with, like, Quintana as your first starter, it's probably going to be another rough season.
Yeah.
But if you sell off all these pieces for, you know, promising enough younger players, you can live with it, I think. It sucks, but you can live with it.
Yeah. I mean, look who they gave up. Robinson, Connor, and
They got a really good return for Robertson too.
A really good return. You know what I mean? Like
for fucking 38-year-old reliever. I don't know what the fuck the Marlins are doing, by the way.
Neither do I. I'm glad they're doing.
Who the Marlins think they are? Like, bro, they have like a negative 40 run difference. Who, bro? They're on a 5-game losing streak from being like, damn, we should have sold. Just one, like 5-game, one bad week from like, damn, we should have sold. I don't know who the fuck they think they are. Honestly.
But you know what they think they are? They're going to go to the postseason, and the pitching's going to dominate. Because I mean, hitting definitely gets harder in the postseason. You know what I mean? So they think they're going to go into the postseason, and the pitching's going to dominate, and the bullpen's going to be solid. They're going to win 2-1 games or 3-1
and listen, yo, that's possible. I'm not here like that's the thing with the trade deadline. Now that Major League Baseball expanded the fucking playoffs, so half the goddamn league makes it. Everybody thinks they're contending, and everybody thinks they're in it. And to a degree, I can't even blame them, because if you get to the playoffs and then you can't feel your face that kind of hot for a month, you might win a championship. We saw the Braves do it, and I get it; they're like the outlier, fine, but it's not that extreme an outlier. Like mediocre teams to average teams or whatever have gotten hot late in the season and won championships before. It's not it won't be a first, it won't be the fucking last. But that's the thing. Like everybody, like the Marlins think. I just don't think the Marlins are any good, and their situation is like, yo, they might be one losing streak away from it. Oh shit, we should have fucking sold. So I don't know why they're actually selling people of note for a good closer, but an old one. Like I think you could have gotten a comparable reliever for less, but then at the same time, the Mariners traded their closer and got a really good return for him too. Yo, Yankees.
Yo, that's second closer. The Mariners have traded.
Who was the first?
Diaz.
Oh, I mean, I think meant this year. Yeah, copy. Right.
Yeah.
And Yankees. I don't even care what the Yankees do as far as buy, sell, combination, word to drink, whatever. I don't care what they do. Clay Holmes needs to be made readily available. Period. He needs to be made readily. And if somebody wants to pay good capital to get him, you move him. If that means like other moves are made like to win now or whatever direction you want to go in, fine. But if this is going to be a seller's market and you have something people want, like as in a closer, trade him, move him, or at the very bare minimum, try to move him.
I mean, the Yankees should be sellers, right, in this situation. There's no reason for them to try to fix whatever's going on.
Like the thing is, like, I see both sides of it. I'm sick of these dudes. So, like, I wish they would just sell them and get them out of my fucking face. They're like 3 games out of a playoff spot. Like, they can make that up. Yeah. So, like, I understand why you'd buy. Because I don't think the Yankees are that much away from being a semi-threat. Like, 2 bats, and all of a sudden the Yankees look entirely different. Well, assuming Aaron Judge's foot stays attached to his body. All of a sudden they're entirely different. Now, do we trust the Yankees to actually go out there, and not, we can't do anything because of the luxury tax? Do we trust them to do that? No. So, like, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do outside of be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, we want such and such. Can you pay the rest of his salary? Because that's what the Yankees have been doing for like 3 years now. So I don't know. Take
McNeil, man. Take McNeil. They said the Yankees and the Mets have been talking. I think it was for Connor, and I guess
brother. Why do you think I want left-handed LeMahieu on my team?
Because I'm not saying you. It feels like the organization will take a guy like him who has no more pop and a lot of.
If they trade for Jeff McNeil, I'm going to make a visit to Brian Cashman myself. We're gonna have a nice talk.
Oh,
have a nice talk. It's gonna be nice. I'll bring him coffee. Nice talk.
The funny thing with the Yankees right now, it just feels like almost all of their lineup, but Aaron Judge is an automatic out. Like, there's no one you can really count on to like do anything with anyone in position. Most of the time, it's like, a guy miraculously gets on first. Brother. The very next guy will ground out to a double play every single time.
You want to sum up the Yankees, and mind you, y'all know how I feel about this player, but this is not meant to be insulting because he's actually been quite good the last, let's say, 40 games. The Yankees' second best hitter in Judge's absence was IKF. Second, like, their best is Gleyber. Their second best is IKF. Listen, he's been fine. I'm not even here to. I'm for once not here to shut him. He's been fine, But like, if he's your second best hitter, you suck. That's just how this. I don't make the rules. If he's your second, you suck. Your offense sucks. If he's your second best, they suck, bro. So like, that sums it up. And it's like you have Anthony Rizzo, who essentially is more decorated Daniel Vogelbach at this point. Oh, excuse me, more decorated, slimmer Daniel Vogelbach at this point. You have LeMahieu, who y'all have heard me bitch about him. I mean, whatever. The catchers can't hit. Like Stanton, I'd rather not. It makes me weep inside. I'd rather not even discuss it. Harrison Bader is as dumb a baseball player as I think I've ever seen in my entire life. Jake Bauers is fine, but he can't play the outfield. So it's like, okay, he gives you something at the plate. He's not bad at the plate. Then in the outfield is like, what is this? And then you have Gleyber, who's fine. That's it. Like the offense, but if you add two reasonable bats, like you could do something. I'm not saying you're going to go out there and steamroll to a title, but could you make an ALCS and make it competitive? Maybe. Mm-hmm. So I get if they want to buy, but in this market, given what the relievers are going for, if you don't at least test the market on your good relievers, that's malpractice because you're not good enough not to. Like if the Yankees put 34 games over 500, you would like, you know what? We're going to keep our bullpen guys. Say less. Fine. You're not though. Like you stink though. Like, bro, there's fire the GM chants coming from the crowd tonight. Like tonight, the trade deadline is tomorrow. It's not.
It's not good. That's not good. That's not a vote of confidence. What's going on? I mean, the Yankees haven't in my lifetime. I've seen some. And I'm gonna kind of like stretch this bad Yankee teams. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about 80s when the Yankees were like bad and stuff like that. Maybe we got to turn around. Like, I'm talking about like post 2009 championship, pre 2009 championship, like that kind of sandwich. I've seen some bad Yankee teams that made the playoffs and got eliminated in a wild card or divisional, whatever case.
Or worse,
or worse. Or it's like not making it to the playoffs. Yeah. This year just seemed like they should have been like just like the Mets. You know what I mean? Without spending, the Yankees should have been on paper better. They just, the bats just went silent and Judge got hurt. And Judge getting hurt, you know what I mean? That's the MVP.
You built around a gang of 30-plus-year-olds, and a lot of them just stopped hitting at once. So It's like,
yeah.
I'm not as down on Brian Cashman as the masses, although basically my position has been, listen, you're the New York Yankees. It should not be hard to fire the GM. So I don't give a fuck if they fire Cashman. I also don't have to lie and pretend that everything he's ever done has been bad. Like, yeah, some of the shit he's done the last couple of years has been puzzling. But it's like, okay, they got Giancarlo Stanton for free. That's what it was. He just won an NL MVP. They got him for free. Complaining about that trade is insane to me. I don't care how it turned out. You do that every single fucking time. Like, the LeMahieu shit, like, them slowly turning on him and then blaming Cashman, like, brother, I remember y'all begging, talking about blank check, the machine. I remember that. I remember that shit. So now blaming Cashman for doing what you wanted to do is wild. And they're like, yeah, the Donaldson trip is fucking dumb. Not arguing that. Yeah. Everybody loves Rizzo. Like Rizzo hasn't hit a home run in 3 months. He can't get booed at the stadium, mind you. I wonder fucking why.
Bro, he got a platinum sombrero, which I didn't know existed. Like I thought it was only golden. After golden, that's it. So apparently he struck out 5 times.
Is there one for 6?
I don't know because I know this because I know 3 is golden, right?
Isn't 1 for 6? It's just like ain't nobody gonna strike out those 6 times.
Yo, son, you know how bad you have to be to strike out 6. First of all, you should all right. Is it 3 times golden sombrero, right? 3 times, 3 to 4 times, something like that.
No, I think 4 is golden. 5 is golden.
4 and 5. I didn't know it was a platinum. I didn't know. Yeah. So like, if you got, my thing is, why was he take out the game? Like you got 4 strikeouts. Like, let's give him one more chance. Like, take out the game.
My thing is that because like I obviously I view strikeouts differently than you, and like in a vacuum, striking out 5 times in the game, it doesn't move me in that way. Because if you ground out 5 times, it's the same. It's pretty much the same result. Like obviously moving and shaking a few parts as far as situation. But brother, if you're not gonna hit for power and then you're also gonna whiff and give everybody in the stands pneumonia, what the fuck are you doing?
Like that's Ray Ordonez type.
Bro,
There's one thing I'm curious.
1 in 3 months. One.
Yeah, that's crazy. And it was like a couple of weeks ago before that. It's a long ass
Against
drought.
the fucking Royals, that don't even count.
I will say with Aaron
here, that don't even count. Sorry, for sure. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. Aaron Boone is hilarious. I was going through Twitter. One of the funniest quotes he had was apparently versus the Royals, no, the Orioles, in which they gave us 7 runs. He was like, "Hey, these guys, they didn't. I thought we really put their pitcher to the test and everything. We didn't strike out a whole bunch." And then how Twitter has like these fact checker things. I wish they had it for that post, but they didn't. But the writer was pretty much
he struck out 18 times.
Yes. 18 times out of 27 possible outs. So it's like, how did you test this guy?
Listen,
they were up 7 runs.
Bro.
You only got 3 back. What? How did you stress him out? He was having a good old time. He was like, okay, yeah, sure.
Bro. What's funny is like, yeah, is there a world where somebody strikes out a lot of batters and you make them work for it? Yes, right. I didn't watch the game. Like I turned that shit off at 2-0 in the first inning, so I can't comment. I don't know what was happening. I didn't watch shit. I turned on Curb Your Enthusiasm and enjoyed my night. But that being said, bro, he said besides the strikeouts. Like I'm going to be a fucking English freak here. He said besides the strikeouts. My brother, there were 9 outs that weren't strikeouts, brother, in a 27-out game. Besides the strikeouts, 9 outs. That's 3 innings worth of outs, brother. That's not a lot of time. That's not a wide span of the bat, sir. But the Aaron Boone stuff is so funny because like I learned early on in the Aaron Boone era. All he gonna do is he gonna do 2 things: lie and be optimistic while lying. And people really, really don't like the optimistic while lying thing. But it's like, why do you need to hear Aaron Boone speak? Or any manager for that matter, especially in baseball. At least football, like you get some kind of insight from time to time from like football coaches. Baseball, there's only so much insight you're gonna get from a baseball manager. Like they're gonna ask him like, why do you do this shit? Oh, I felt X, I felt Y. It usually doesn't even fucking add up. And then they move on to the next question. So, like, Aaron Boone has been manager here for 5 years. Mm-hmm. Aaron Boone, when the Yankees lose 3-2 in 13 innings and they've lost 6 straight, you know what you're going to get fed. Optimism and bullshit. Mm-hmm. Why are you watching it? What is he going to give you? Like, when the Yankees lose 3-2, I don't want to see anything else. They lost the game. I don't really want to be reminded of how they fucking lost the game. I turn the shit off. I turn on Fresh Prince or whatever the fuck else, and go on about my fucking night. Like, you watching Aaron Boone speak for what? He's not going to give you shit outside of optimism. He is Pete Carroll, but worse. Like, at least Pete Carroll is somewhat in reality. Aaron Boone's not, and he doesn't give a fuck. He's just there to feed you nonsense. That's what they put him in front of the mic for. And they know most of these reporters are not going to challenge him on said fucking nonsense. And then we go from there. People are watching shit, and they're getting they're live tweeting Aaron Boone interviews and getting themselves agitated. Like, why are you gaslighting yourself? Really? Why?
Right.
Why?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
I just feel it's just so funny every time the Yankees have a losing streak. Just the ire against Aaron Boone, and then the player they randomly boo. Like I remember they used to boo Gary Sanchez, who's doing well in San Diego, by the way. Just to remind them, they booed Joey Gallo, who's been okay in Minnesota. But the booing of Gary Sanchez was so funny. I'm just going anecdotally because it's like they booed him for not hustling for ground outs. They were mad he wasn't hustling.
Listen, I'm not even going to comment on that because we could hijack the show. This could go for 4 hours. I'm not even going to comment on that. I'll just say one thing real fast. If you want your best players to bust their ass on groundouts, like so they could be out by 20 feet instead of 40, you're a fucking moron. That is all. That's all. Thank you.
It gets real boomerish when it comes to like that aspect of baseball. Like, yeah, he's not busting he's not busting his tail down the first baseline. I'm like, I guess, you know what I mean? Like things do happen. Like I think the worst thing that happens with the ground out stuff is when like the guy fumbles it or throws the first base, he drops it. Oh, if he was running hard, he would have been on first. Like, all right, guess
It's like, bro, Robinson Cano was basically the best second baseman in Yankee history. You had people who wouldn't stop bitching on him not running to first base. It's like, bro, they don't pay him to run.
right.
They don't pay him. They pay him to hit the ball from gap to gap and over the fences. He's damn good at that shit. They pay him to field well. He's damn good at that shit. Like, okay, I'm sorry that he doesn't care if he gets thrown up by 50 feet or 30. Sorry.
Well, speaking of throwing, it was an interesting throw that happened. Was it in Vegas?
Nah, run that back one more time. I just want to look at her face. She look at her.
Yo, what compels you? Because there's another angle of the young lady throwing her drink at Cardi, and I don't think Cardi. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did she connect with her, or she's the person next to her? I didn't really tell if she connected.
I can't tell. I can't tell who she connected with. She connected with.
I'm gonna assume she did.
Good throw. It was a good throw. But the girl immediately apologized after throwing his drink at her.
I have some context that might make sense.
Okay.
Apparently, Cardi had asked for the people to throw one on her. Apparently, she'd asked for that previous to that. Now, allegedly, I don't know how they would know. Maybe Cardi commented. I have no idea. But apparently, what made Cardi mad is that they got her in the face. That the water got her in the face, and that's what set her off. Because right before that, she was asking for them to splash her. So
because I guess she was hot.
Yeah, she was mad that she got splashed in the face.
Not the face. So she did like Issa in this. Not the face, you monster.
Like, be an adult, Issa. Grow up.
Oh man, like
Jude has no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Jude has no idea what we're talking about. None. Oh, God.
I will say Cardi B had pretty impressive throw power, pretty impressive throw speed. I feel like she could start for more than a few teams in the NFL.
I mean, she better than Luis Severino right now.
It's not the first time she threw a mic. They said she threw a mic. There's another clip of throwing a mic at her DJ allegedly for some reason. So, I mean, look, we could have pulled up a bunch of clips of her throwing mics, but there's always something going on in these concerts. Like, fans are throwing things on stage. Like, somebody threw a vape at Drake, and he was like, "What do you want me to do? Smoke this pineapple mango a vape, like one of them $20 little vapes." You threw it like people are throwing like cell phones, like because they want you to take a selfie, but they're like you're hurling objects at people performing for you. Now
you're burying the lead here, Case. Someone threw a bra at Drake. You kind of buried that.
But that was like an auntie bra. Like somebody throwing a bra is not throwing a vape or a cell phone.
Fair.
I mean, let's be real. Somebody throwing a bra with a purpose. Like, we can say whatever you want about the behavior, fine. I personally don't get wrapped up in that shit. I don't care. Somebody throwing a bra, they trying to be seen. And the thing is, they're trying to be seen. They're trying to be the 6-letter F word. Like, you can do your own math on that one.
Rhymes with ducked.
Right. So, like, at least there's a purpose to that. Like, okay.
Right.
And listen, we in an era where all of this stuff, we always find out who did it. There's always a way to find. Like we found out who threw the bra the first time. The second time I didn't see it. We found out who threw the bra the first time. The stuff, and these athletes and these entertainers, they're in everybody's DMs. Well, some of them. And I know Drake is. I know goddamn well Drake is. We know we have that on record. So it's like, yo, they're trying to get fucked. You doing a vape pen like.
What's the purpose?
Why? What's the purpose of this?
Like people throw their cell phone on stage because they want the artist to take a selfie with them, like stuff like that. Like, I threw my phone on stage and such picked it up. He took a selfie. I've seen it happen, but then I've also seen the artist get hit with the phone. Like, yo, are you serious? Like, I've seen artists walk off stage for getting hit. Like, somebody got hit in the head with something. She turned her back on stage. I remember Akon threw somebody off the stage for throwing something at him.
Fire.
They threw somebody threw a water bottle at him, and he was like, "Hey, who threw that? Like, stop the show. Who threw that?" It was like him. He said, "Come on up." He comes up on stage. He picks him up over his shoulder, and basically, like Samoan, drops him back in the crowd and starts the music up again. I think Pitbull slapped somebody, threw somebody in the crowd too. Like, just stop fucking with these artists, especially the hip hop artists. Leave them alone, because they're gonna whoop you. Remember when 50 Cent got his chain snatched in South Africa? You ever seen that? 50 Cent got his chain snatched in South Africa while performing. He jumped off stage and chased that dude into the crowd. Like, leave these artists alone. Let them perform. Stop throwing your shit on stage. And Cardi, don't make requests for people to splash you. That's
then they get mad when they do.
And they get mad when they hit you in the face because we've heard your lyrics, and we don't think you would mind getting. Shout out to Offset.
Wow, I wasn't expecting that.
You never do. And
no.
speaking of music,
it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Pull up a seat and get off your feet for Jude's Grooves.
Kev was practically bursting out of his seat for this. He's been excited all day.
It's been a long time, and people miss the grooves. I personally got a call and said, "Yo, it's gold, it's platinum. Keep that up. Don't kill that." So
I went platinum with no features apparently.
Wow, hip hop reference.
I'm surprised you knew that.
I'm surprised you knew that.
Okay.
Without further ado,
I'll get started. I want to get you in the Georgia Dome on the 50-yard line, okay? While the Dirty Birds kick for Tree, and if you like in the club, we can do the DJ booth, or in the back of the VIP, whipped cream with cherries and strawberry on top. Lick it, don't stop. Keep the door locked, don't knock while the boat rock. We go bots and robots, so they got to wait till the show stopped. Or how about on the beach with black sand? Lick up your thigh, then call me the Pac-Man, okay? Tabletop or just give me a lap dance. The rock to the park, to the point, to the flat. What is this? Is this like fucking geometry? Like a map question? The man named Ludacris. Woo, in the public bathroom or in back of the classroom. However you want it, lover, gun tap that ass soon. See, I cast them and I passed them. Get a tight grip and I grasp them. I flash them and outlast them. And if it ain't good, then I trash them. While you stash them, I let them free. And they tell me what's their fantasy. Like up on the roof. Tell your boyfriend not to be mad at me. Okay. And now to do this, I want to lick you from your head to your toes. And I want to move from the bed down to the flow. Then I wanna you make it so good. I don't wanna leave. But why is he fucking stuttering? What is this?
I want Ludacris to hear this.
No. What's your fantasy? What the fuck is this? I wanna lick from your head to your toes. And I wanna move from the bed down to the floor. Then I wanna you make it so good. I don't wanna leave, but I gotta. No, I'm not. I can't do. I gotta.
Why do you sound like you're paid?
What's your fantasy? What the fuck is this? Why is he stuttering?
Kev, please tag Ludacris. I want him to hear this.
Why is he stuttering?
I want him to. If Ludacris hears this.
Why is he stuttering? That's what I want to know. Like, what is this? Like,
we're gonna get sued one day. Somebody's gonna sue. Like, yo, cease and desist.
Somebody's gonna be like, "Why did you ruin my song like this?"
Why is he stuttering though? Like, I want to know what
is so good. Like, you don't want to leave, man. That's why.
Yeah. Like, was it just that good? Like, he just
bro. Yes.
But why did you sound like you were paid? You were like,
I don't know how. I mean, you want me to sound like I'm having an orgasm or something? Like,
no,
I'm reading this.
No, that's not the point here. No. But we'd like you to not sound like you just got stitches put in your head either.
like you just had a Charlie horse, like
You sound like Hank Hill.
I'm just saying.
Oh,
It's like,
oh.
and then he's talking about the rock to the park to the point to the flatlands. Like, is he doing a map quest? Like, what is this? The rock? It's just like euphemism. Like,
I want
what's this?
Ludacris to hear this because he. Please,
Yeah, I'm
Luda,
attacking.
please make sure y'all tag Ludacris.
Oh, my
Tell him to
goodness.
listen to Jude's his rendition of What's Your Fantasy. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and on Twitter at MIPod69. Make sure you follow Jude Truth at Jude Truth. Make sure you follow Kevin Lewis at KLEW24. And make sure you follow us on TikTok at middle_initial_pod on TikTok. You can follow me, you know what I mean? Because, for those who are living under the rock, I was hanging out with the owner of the New York Jets, you know what I mean? So kind of a big deal, you know what I mean? And I get my training camp tickets on time. A lot of big names.
Okay.
Gotham City Crew couldn't get theirs. You know what I mean? Shout out
Oh,
Gotham City Crew.
We're out here
You know what I mean?
flexing now. Jeez.
They couldn't get theirs, but no, it's funny because like this 2 times in a row I've been able to get through Ticketmaster and get my tickets. So I had a little rub it in, that you guys couldn't get your tickets. So I will be at training camp. I should be at training camp. I will, but I should be at training camp Sunday, August 6th. So if you're going to be at training camp on Sunday, hopefully I'll see you there. If not, sucks to be you. We were gifted some tickets before for giveaways. We haven't got an opportunity to get any. If we do get any additional tickets for giveaways, we will be giving away. The only way you can get tickets from us is if you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. You follow us on Instagram and you follow us on Twitter. You subscribe to us on Spotify or Apple. That is the only way you're going to be able to get anything from us. You got to be subscribed on YouTube. Follow us on all social media platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Well, I mean, I'm still calling it Twitter. I ain't calling it X. It's Twitter. You know what I mean?
Only X I acknowledge is DMX. We're not doing this.
And be eligible. We have a special giveaway coming up soon for some lucky fans. Definitely been working behind the scenes with Jude and our resident dude Dan. So be on the lookout for some special giveaways, man. Some unique stuff that no one can offer because it's their work, it's their art, and we hope that you support them in the future. Jude has been working very hard with his photography, and so has Dan. And Jude, make sure you plug your site.
I would love to. So my site is Jude Jackson, my name, .smugmug.com. I gotta fix the logo on the site because it has my picture. So it's funny, I send it to people and it literally just shows my face as Smug Mug. So it's kind of a little funny thing, but yeah, Jude Jackson. .smugmug.com. I have all of my pictures up there. Some I've taken over the years, some from training camp. I think they're nice at least. So go on there, buy some prints, buy a mug, buy some refrigerator magnets, buy canvas art, do whatever. It would mean a lot. Thank you.
There you go. Support Jude at Jude. Was it Jude
Jackson.
Smugmug.
at .smugmug.com.
Mm-hmm. It's on all my social media, Twitter, Instagram. So yeah.
Links in the bio.
Bye-bye.
Peace.